Man, that game felt like an outdraft. But like I remember you saying when we were watching it earlier on, it's like, now the VP just won every single one of their lanes. How can Forward actually get off to a good laning phase? How can the Lifestealer not be a trash pick and it should have actually been a troll, like I suggested? But
I don't know if troll is much better. The thing is, it's the Shadow Demon Medusa combo because you already have that defensive answer to a hard initiation on your Dusa, plus you have the BKB piercing ultimate. And when you combo that with the Dusa, you have two methods effectively of peeling Forward off you in a team fight, and they don't really have that ability to heavily commit. Although I do love Jakiro against Shadow Demon because you do Ice Path on top of defensive disruptions quite easily. I think Pylai dies Undying is the answer if you're thinking about laning phase here. You could theoretically
so
zone
he just has to
top.
get aggressive. Like, can you actually run a tri lane in this? Is that enough? I'm trying to think like how the 3 position then of Forward's able to run.
It's a tough question, Toby.
Because they're gonna push SB to the off lane, and then leave the Ember mid, and then a defensive tri lane from Forward.
This is an off lane Spirit Breaker as well. I was so sure it was going to be Core Jakiro, but it is not. And they're already initiating up top on Pi. It is Undying though, so not the ideal target.
Yeah, one of the hardest ones to hit. Nice movement from MSS, at least dodges the Split Earth of MP, which was very heavily telegraphed. Yeah, they did. That's a good way to start the laning phase. That's a great way to start,
especially when you consider it's a try-on-try. That means all of Forward can just buy Stick or Quelling if they desire. And especially against a lane like Fnatic's where they are all going to be casting spells to find kills, early Stick is so key, especially on heroes like Undying Jakiro that turn that free mana into extra DPS. The mid matchup's the one I'd want to key in on, though, because it's very much, I think, a Medusa-favored one-on-one, but a lot more pressure on CCNC to have a good time here and then get involved.
Yeah. Well, ISIS getting a free lane is always a dangerous thing too, because he's just one of those players. Like, you give him some space and then he's going to end up carrying for the rest of your team. So good luck on that front. But I want to see how much work Pilot can do up on this top lane. Try and play from the trees, keeping jabs occupied. That's 0 for 2 on the Split Earths of MP. And Forward will just try and sustain through this top lane.
But yeah, keep that in mind. You're tri-laning aggressively into an Undying. This is potentially going to work for a kill or two, but the problem becomes when Forward get a couple of levels and you just simply run out of damage and harassment. The Undying might die here and there, but he just teleports back in to continue spamming Decay Soul Rip.
Yeah.
Lifestealer's not ever killable with your setup. It's a very high-risk play here from Fnatic. It's surprising that they chose to do it this way instead of, just throw Tiny Centaur up here, spam creep pulls, just annoy the wave.
I can get that, but I think they also want to keep the attention away from ISIS, away from the Centaur, and away from Arbed. By running an aggro tri-lane, it frees up the other lanes to actually be these pure 1v1s, and that bottom lane is already 11-1 against a 4-for-1, and he's diving underneath the tower to keep the pressure on. SD Disruption combo, at least on Yawar. And DJ's just holding everything he's got. But it's this bottom lane that's just working so well for Fnatic. And now DJ, it's a 3-man avalanche with a tossback of Yawar. It's just really up in the face of Forward. As you said, they're going to start running lower.
Yeah, the thing is, though, to your point, you don't necessarily need to win this lane if you're Fnatic. You just want to slow down the Lifestealer. Inhibit his Midas timing, mess with Yawar, keep him low level, because you're going to effectively be playing 5-on-4 for quite some time if Yawar does go for that Midas Radiance build that almost every NA carry does seem to favor.
DJ, he's getting real cheeky. He's looking for the toss back, and he's trying to work with jabs to get Pylai die under the tier 1 tower to take that damage, which not even 16 Decay steals is able to keep you up with. That mid lane was also having a little bit of fun as Forward almost losing their Ember Spirit.
You didn't even look at the warding from Forward. It's all just trying to prevent the Fnatic tri-lane from being able to move towards mid and kill CCNC before you can get that critical level 6 up. There is going to be a lack of disable to kill this Ember in the game until somebody picks up a Blink Dagger. And even then, they don't have too much follow-up lockdown on the side of Fnatic. Obviously, it's a lot of stuns, but very long cast times on all of these abilities. It's easy for a skilled Ember player like CCNC to juke him out.
Looks like also on bottom lane, Spirit Breaker. It's been a pretty hard catch-up game to play, but it's now 20-1 against the 15-3. So Spirit Breaker with a couple of levels seems to be getting a little bit more presence in the bot lane.
I'm sure you just picked up a Quelling Blade at a point. It's tough to deny when the enemy hero has a 20+ damage advantage.
Do you actually want to see him rotate off and towards the mid? You talk about like the wards coming up from Fnatic. to try and keep them away from rotating. DJ's in a little bit of trouble. Piladai, there's a quick toss back, putting Piladai in the middle of the trolls and jabs an MP. And Piladai actually taking a lot of damage. He should be the first blood here as MP, no soul rip. There's that life he needs to survive. MSS will have to lose his clarity and lose the pursuit.
Yep. And this is the downside of the Fnatic tri-lane. As you can see, like, they throw out spell after spell, but it's not going to do enough, and Piladai really won't die unless he makes some huge mistake, or DJ gets one of those tossbacks into tower, picks up the Invis rune from right under CCNC's nose.
No. Snaking efficiency. TP back to base, charge back forward, and say hi to Ice, who has gone the 3 points up in the... actually, that was return, right?
Makes sense. And it'll be interesting. I don't like snaking rotating just because you cannot ever leave a lane alone. It's just not a thing you can do in Dota right now until at least the 8-9 minute mark. And even if we were able to go mid and get a kill, if Ice gets 2 free waves and some tower pressure, it's still arguably Fnatic favored in the exchange.
Is that just because you reach your item timing faster, or is it...
Creep waves are worth too much gold in comparison to kills, and you just don't get enough experience from early game kills. The Bounty Rune fight looks like it's going to be a click battle.
DJ's going to win it, but Yoa, he already used his Rage. TP support's coming back in from Paradise, but very much off target. MP, the Sick Charge will give a little bit more life, but everyone's slowed up. The disruption onto Piladai, stopping him from just spamming out Decay as DJ begins his own TP out. There are no stuns. Oh, they have the damage. Yoa gets that last claw before the TP was going to complete.
It's a huge kill there. Yawar getting the gold as well, just as I talked about how you can aggro into the Lifesteal, slow him down. Gets an infusion of near 400 gold, and you look at the net worths, even though they're behind a bit in CS and the 1v1s, they're buying less regen.
MP's in trouble again. Dual Breath is up, they've got all the damage in the world. Jabs has to delay it with the defensive disruption. MP comes back out, and Stampede is up. Centaur, he's level 6, having that solo lane, so hitting more than a level a minute. Allows ISIS to get his core offlaner out.
So what's going to happen is, once this lane top stabilizes for forward, they're going to be able to move Jakiro down to bottom lane, as then Snaking can start getting super aggressive around the map. And Ice will most likely look to do the same, but he's a Centaur. His hero just doesn't function in that way. Plus, the Abed Dusa is going to be relegated to just, trying to farm and accelerate. The downside of the aggro tri-lanes with weak heroes like Lesh is once the laning stage breaks down, they don't really have much of a game anymore. They need to stay with their friends, but MP is just so far behind at this point, and you're never able to pressure Lifesteal in the first place.
Oh, nice toss back, catching out Piladai, defensive disruption, and this splitter, this timing will be able to connect, even waiting half a second for it. But Piladai under the tower, the Soul Rip gives him a lot more life, and the run back. Have they really got enough damage to get through him? Tombstone being planted, that toss will get the kill. So DJ with a kill in the offlane. Jabs, has he got another disruption up just yet? Yuan's already starting his initiation. Raged up and onto the tier 1 tower. They want to keep diving, but they will have to back off for the moment.
I don't think he minds. Piladai, the key is the end word there. He is a notable expert at the art of tactical feeding.
And that was his old name. It's die.
It's a decent start for forward. Looking at net worths, obviously it's looking good, but you got to question whether or not they're going to be able to keep this tempo up. You're always going to be on this clock against the Shadow Demon Dusa.
That's what we have to keep in mind, right? Like, we started off saying, like, hey, forward need to have a really good laning phase. The Fnatic definitely favored inside the draft. Charge is coming towards the mid, but DJ starts it all off, picks up and tosses back CC and C. Where's that Spirit? It doesn't exist. Spirit Breaker wants to finish the charge forward. The tree toss won't get the kill, but it baits him out far enough. CCNC was low enough, but Abed thought he had a moment. And now Abed, the shields come up, but it's way too late. Another toss back. There's going to be snaking under the tier 1 tower. But there's also not enough damage to find the kill. It feels like CCNC just perfectly baited in Abed for the moment. Now that leaves MP isolated on the top lane with the supports TPing in towards mid. Another ice path that's available. Well, the first one from MSS, just enough mana to get it, and MP falls.
And Fnatic is not looking hot right now, Toby. And credit to CCNC for baiting, but Abed, you're playing against Spirit Breaker. He charged through the ward they have on the bottom rune, yet he doesn't toggle Mana Shield on. It's the only reason he goes down there. A good heads up from Snaking. He was charging to help peel, then recognized, wait, I actually might have the damage to kill this Dusa with the Piladai Undying, rotating forwards. And this is the danger. Level 7 on Snaking, double bracer phase. He is so fat, and how do you actually kill him now?
Now he's actually able to try and compete. Okay, that charge forward, that's not what he wants. Disruption, support's moving over as quick as it possibly can. Ice arrive from the ice path. How can you move through it? 3 heroes get caught by it. Ice has the Invis rune. I'm not seeing any sentry in the lane. So he's looking for a target to initiate on. Yawar would be the greatest target with the Hofstorm forward. Split Earth has to follow up, but the Rage, the timing was a little off from MP. He was too far back. And this will allow a Rage escape for the Lifestealer and a wasted rotation from EPICENTER.
And notably, well, look bottom. You know, forward, they're ensuring that they have a support taking these free lanes. Snaking, oh, you want to rotate top ice? That's fine. I can just continue to charge around the map, look to make things happen. He has ult. Oh my goodness.
He's like, wait, I actually got a bash. Time to turn the bulldoze on. Just reduce that resistance to another bash. And now with another strike, DJ one more punch. He doesn't even need that. Snaking gets the kill, charges off cooldown so he can just get himself away, go straight back through our bed and away.
Now.
He's going towards the top lane for Ice, who's currently, for some reason, 1v3. This is the #1 hero for Fnatic. They gave him the space on bottom lane, and forward take care of him. Fnatic.
Fnatic just feel lost right now. They're running this 4-stun lineup, but they can't really kill any of the forward cores right now, nor the Pylai die undying. And Abed is doing Medusa things, farming around the map, but the game is effectively 4-on-5, but Fnatic have no real way of doing things around the map unless they hit those perfect stun combos. And even then, it's just on the initial target. And look at this, Snaking charging bottom once again. They're playing so fast around the map.
Battling for the runes as well, but yes, Snaking runs in after DJ. Quick pause as we are very close to Snaking impacting into the Tiny.
Yeah.
Support's moving in from the side, so maybe there is enough damage as Abed moving in from the west, but they're still battling underneath the Tombstone.
And you got to say, with MP's game looking as it is, I foresee some major damage issues for Fnatic into the mid-game.
Yeah.
You look at the support duo of forward, Jakiro already has like 1,100, 1,200 HP. There's an Undying, and then 3 cores that all have just huge survivability advantages in comparison to the Fnatic lineup. And you really just don't have the DPS. Your supports are low damage. Centaur's not a DPS hero, and if Lesh isn't in the game, you know, it's Medusa auto attacks. And as soon as this, I imagine, Crimson Guard at some point comes up on Snaking, you get to a point where there's just too much to kill, not to mention the tomb zombies that'll keep spawning on you. But we have a fight.
Yeah, let's see how they deal with it. Paradise are getting hit by the Avalanche. Here comes Abed taking care of the Tombstone to begin with. Paradise still very, very low. The poison that's on him, it doesn't look like it's enough for a pop. And even a regeneration rune, sure, you'll take that. Meanwhile, CCNC's adding pressure towards this mid-tower. Catapult wave doing its work. And there's so much on the line forward. They needed this. Yeah. They totally needed this game. If they're out of this, then they have no chance at the top 12 for TI9. And that's what a lot of these teams, especially in the lower bracket, are really playing for in these best-of-1 eliminations. We've got later games, or tomorrow it got moved to as the OG game, if they want to try and hold their position. Fnatic is at least qualified, but it doesn't mean that losing these fights can continue to happen. MP cannot get enough distance. Staking's able to reach him. That Lantern has the distance as Jabs moves through the tree line. Ice, TP's in, gets a nice hoof stomp with the double edge, but CCNC takes almost no damage from this. A defensive spirit up, he'll kill Jabs and then gets easily back out to safety if he wants to.
Ice is in trouble too, man.
He's all by himself. Support's coming in from the Tiny, but that won't be enough for Snaking. Charges in with the Nether Strike, pushes him back. Pardai, he's got another Tombstone up. CCNC with the slight gets the kill on Ice, and DJ and MP, they realize they have no business being in this bottom lane.
Dude, they're just getting rolled. Forward just playing too fast around the map. They crushed the lanes, and all of a sudden, you have Ember Spirit Breaker everywhere. And as you can see, Fnatic, they're playing 4-on-5. Abed is just farming around the mid lane. That's, you know, no fault towards him, but it doesn't leave you many options to defend these dives.
It's his job, right? His job is to continuously farm up to allow for that counter push. He needs to be the big hero the Fnatic, well, need. But if Forward can keep the pressure on and stop MP from being a hero, then they've only got that one problem to deal with. They've got the Deucer, and that's it. There's no initiation, which is scary from DJ, which is normally his big role. Ice is currently an escaping Stampede. He can't stay on the front lines against this forward lineup.
Yeah. I like this from Yawar. He's got the armlet queued up. Maybe he goes for Radiance after. It's his call, but I definitely want him to continue to play offensively. You don't want to just say, oh, well, we're winning, so I'll just trade against this Dusa and farm through my jungle until I get a Radiance. You want to keep playing high tempo. You've got 2 great methods of delivery for the Infest and the Ember and the Spirit Breaker, and so far Fnatic have proven like they have no real method of team fighting forward at the moment. If they can just get on top of these cores or supports in the back line, forward are just going to crush them, especially if a Tomb goes down on the high ground.
I'm actually very surprised that Forward aren't doing anything about this. They know what Abed's going to do. He's off the mid lane. Spirit Breaker even ran into this area to try and contest. But this is a huge stack of Ancients. It's going to get Abed almost up to #1 net worth. And what are you getting in return? Jab starts the fight now on bottom lane, and CCNC will dodge the Split Earth MP. He's had a real hard time synergizing with Jabs. And now they're going to go for Ice. Stampede's still available. If he needs to use it, he does not want to use it now. I'm just going to charge him up. He gets towards the high ground, but he's sticking around. The charge is still coming in from Spirit Breaker, and there's 5 heroes coming now close towards the shrine. Abed, maybe he's got something to give here. The Mystic Snake has done some decent work, but now MSS wraps around the back, underneath the shrine. Abed wants to fight. DJ will come in as well. A quick avalanche, snaking, tossing back into the engagement, but they're under the macro pie, dodging the ice path. Fnatic have better positioning, but Jabs, snaking is just so big. Jabs gets the disruption off. He'll get a little bit of space, but Abed has nothing. He's the one that can't die. He's the one that needs to keep the money up, but he's the one that's taking the fall for Fnatic.
Oh my god, and down bottom, CCNC soloed MP.
Oh boy.
Who could not teleport to this engagement because he had TP'd bottom. I believe Forward got a read on that, which is why they dove so hard. They knew that it was going to be a 4-on-5 once again. In fact, 4-on-4 because Ember's not there, but it doesn't matter because he was able to pressure bottom, find the kill, and would have been able to do a ton of tier 2 damage if MP were not there to sacrifice his body. But as you can see, the damage out from Fnatic right now just isn't there. If you get a bunch of Forward heroes on top of you, there isn't much of a recourse, especially if the Stampede's blown at the start of the fight defensively, just because Ice is trying to save himself.
Now they've observed watered up the Ancients. You got a double damage rune on the Ember Spirit, so the damage is increasing again from Forward Gaming. And Fnatic, I don't know what you do now. You can't keep your own jungle.
I mean, they got to play better, Toby. This has been a very sloppy game from them thus far. And, you know, credit to Forward for taking it to them. It is an elimination game. Forward, certainly with far more to play for here, you'd expect that they're definitely feeling the pressure a little bit. Fnatic already securing their place in TI.
18th.
Forward needs top 6.
They are 18th position with 229.88 points. They have work to do to reach that 12th position. Is now in mid snaking. He already started this off. Paradise losing a lot of life, but the Ice Path has done its work once again. Lashrank, a non-factor hero. DJ can create some space by tossing back one, but he's still dying. Another slide of fist. ECNC having this entire fight under double damage buff.
Bright spot is, of course, Ice will be able to collect these bounties on bottom. Also gets the bot tower. You know, they're not out of this by any means. Fnatic always do have that Deuce to fall back on, but the way that Forward are playing this game, the way they've itemized, everybody's spending their gold as they acquire it. They can just continue to press aggressively. I don't think that they've left the enemy side of the map for the last 8 minutes, and I don't expect them to do so anytime soon.
No, I think we're going to hit that 40-plus minute if Fnatic's going to get over the other side of the river. They won't threaten any tier 1 towers. Forward will always be able to charge forward. We'll have the Ember Spirit doing exactly this. Abed, like he's sitting out there with 1/4. Okay, not even that. Now back to a little bit of 1/4 worth of mana.
And I love what they're doing as well. This is the value area of the map for Dire to play. Traditionally, you'll see a lot of inexperienced teams trying to play in the bottom side of the Radiant jungle, but it's so much more valuable to play in this triple shrine or triple camp area around top shrine because you get the 2 waves with less distance needed to travel, especially because of that new ramp where you can actually see your ward. Like you're able to pull creeps up to this hill. Plus, you're around Roshan. And you also control 2 bounties naturally. Sure, Radiant can play bottom, but if they spend too much time down there, eventually they will lose Roshan, and then that whole Radiant side advantage flips on its head.
It's also the most efficient area to farm for the Deucer. Oh, Ice Path, it connects. That TP will not complete. And MP, he knows he's dead. He does as much damage as he can before that point, but he looked towards mid. They just look to switch from one target to the other. Snaking and CCNC knew he's around here, and Abed into the trees, and now they give information. The follow-up Snaking, he's holding back. He's got Nether Strike, but they start with the charge instead. So Yulakan runs forward, and they just keep going. No Stone Gaze, as you said. Abed will fall. No way for him to really have any level of teamfight presence. He's gone everything into his farm.
There's no way that's correct.
It's a thing. It's currently a thing in front of us.
Well, credit to Forward, 16-1.
Yep.
They are continuously stepping on the throat of Fnatic, and as you can see, just for the most part, ignoring bottom, except for Snaking, who's able to play in this area because he can always just charge forwards. I love this ward. You see CCNC run past it just now. It's providing so much information, and this is why you play this area. Dire get both tier 2s.
Ice wasn't caught inside that smoke. He needed to be because he's got the blink dagger. Like, this is meant to be their blink reveal. Underneath the Radiant Obs, they see CNC. Can they actually get the hit? Wolfstorm first. They may have enough damage, but then you got the shields up. He's tanking through so much, and the defense is Spirit away. Stick charges up.
And that's their whole kill potential, Toby. Like, it's just a stun lock. You need to stun lock these heroes. If Lifestealer gets a spell off, it's Rage, Infest. If the Spirit Breaker, your spells just don't last very long. They'll have 70% status resist increase with Bulldoze up. And then, as you can see, CCNC with the Defensive Remnant always prepared. You know, say what you will about him as a player, but I think he's one of the most disciplined cores in Dota, especially in North America. You are not going to catch him making those silly mistakes to throw away huge leads like a few of his counterparts on Cliffs.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, you went for the Cliff one. All right, sure. I thought you were going for someone very, very different. But hey, there's a whole bunch of Saints here in forward gaming.
Yeah, he's just not. He is your consummate professional. You know, he's not the superstar playmaker. He's just a guy doing his job, trying to win games for his team. Also, he's got a Radiance. Jesus.
Ice just broke the smoke. Infest
Wait,
up.
doesn't have Radiance. Sorry.
CCNC is like about to say that's moving forward. just so everyone does know, we can't see inside the game. Bottom lane initiation. There's your Infest bomb. DJ taking so much damage with MP, but MP's the first one to fall. The charge hand transfers over towards the SD. Yawan with a double kill, rooting up Ice. And man, this game feels like it's over before it even really begun. And then we just had an extra 18 minutes. Like, this is problematic. 14k advantage for forward gaming. Another double damage room fight for the Ember Spirit. And Arbeb, we keep asking that question. How long before he is ready? He can even buy the Manta Star right now, but he's saving for buyback. He doesn't want to run the risk. Except the Courier's coming out underneath the Observe Ward. I don't know if this has got a good chance as well. Snaking's waiting for it. Up through the side, turns on the Bulldoze, fortify it. Is this actually doing the buying? Is the Courier actually buying the ultimate orb?
I am not sure.
And then it's moving to the side. All right.
Yeah, this is, Abed recently hit 10k MMR, one of the best mids in SEA, but a common piece of criticism that other pros have given him is that he tends to farm a bit too much, especially in games where his squad falls behind. And you look at decisions like the skipping ultimate, like, just boggles my mind because it reveals that he really had no intention of taking any of these mid-game fights. But this Fnatic lineup needed him.
The only one it would have really worked on was the one they battled on top of their own secret shop on the northern side, and that would have been fantastic.
Yeah, active shrine
forward were locked down under an almost under the active shrine, but they only ended up having to battle on top of the shrine because there wasn't that stone gate, there wasn't that AOE. It was a Mystic Snake, and that was it. But now he's got the Manta style. He is starting to reach that point where you asked the question, like, what more does forward do now? They still have to break the base. They've taken all the outer towers by the tier 2 tower on bottom. How do they go about fighting Fnatic?
This is how you do it, though. You get all the bounty runes, and then after 20 minutes, you just relax. You can see them playing defensively now. Snaking on one hill. I believe they had Pi on another. Yeah, it's just the two heroes you don't want to target as Fnatic, ensuring that they're there to break the smokes as the other cores just continue to farm up. You don't need anything else at this point. You've got the tier 2s. Your next play as forward is to power spike, look to take an engagement, and then walk into the Roche pit. Fnatic, they're forced to hold hands if they want to get out on the map. You know that they're most likely looking to smoke here. And because of the way comeback mechanic functions, of course, all deaths that forward cores were to have, if they were to die, of course, so far only the one, it's punishing. And you start losing tons and tons of gold. If Abed gets a couple last hits all of a sudden, he's got a free ultimate orb halfway to a Scotty, and things can start to look scary.
And Ice is going to get really annoyed at this soon. Like, he's like, there was 2 times there he was trying to actually get a blink jump forward initiation, but the Maelstrom was proccing the blink dagger. So he couldn't actually get in. And CCNC just has to keep sleight of fisting to get that. When he gets a Lincoln Sphere up and running, like, at least Wolfstorm's able to connect, same with Split Earth. But
I love how he's playing. Just pushes the lane, ensures the catapult stays alive, immediately remnants out, as his team is most likely going to look to make a move here.
He keeps getting information too. Like, if Fnatic aren't defending this, then you know something's wrong.
Yeah, and you can see how easy it is for forward. Once they're the ones looking to get aggressive as a unit, the Fnatic just flee immediately back to the safety of their own base. And this is the power of the Lifestealer. He's got the Radiance. He's now inside the Spirit Breaker. CCNC finds
and they see Abed That's the perfect target. Spirit jumping from CCNC, trying to keep the control up. Yulcept is already being used. Arbed with the stone gaze off. Maybe they can stand and fight with the avalanche connects heavily forward. Have to be careful with this one. The tombstone, they'll finally get rid of it as the double edge. CCNC still up. He's the one that has to go down, but Yawa's doing all the damage. 3 heroes taken. I thought for a moment maybe Fnatic are in this, but I thought wrong. Forward are going to charge forward. They've lost absolutely nothing. They'll get the buyback out from Tiny. MP, one more hit from Yawa will do it. A triple kill for this life stealer. Even CCNC efficiency pulled back. They need the creep wave is coming in through top, is coming in through mid, but they can also just back up and do Roshan.
This is, once again, clinical from forward, but like that fight wasn't taken especially well by them. MSS was not there. CCNC went very deep, but Fnatic, they overlapped a couple of stuns, and at this point, when that fight starts at 21-1, it's an uphill battle for sure. And this is very scary. This team will not be playing qualifiers. This is going to be their last DPC event, perhaps last tournament before we see Fnatic at TI, and they look lost, Toby. They look like a fragment of their former selves when you compare their dominance at the start of the season when they were able to trade blows with teams like Secret. Now it doesn't even feel like they're on the same tier.
Majority of the points actually came for this DPC was at Dream League, and ever since then they were at least at every single major, but the results definitely weren't singing for them. In fact, out of everything, they still qualify for a major every time for all of this DPC. But it's rough, to say the least. Now forward will take Roshan. They'll get the Aegis Immortal behind them. And Fnatic will have probably one last big test of their defense abilities, and we'll see if this Dusa can finally be a real hero. Forward smoke up, they will get aggressive. They just need a target, and they found one. SD's out underneath the Dire Observer Ward, so you'll say goodbye to our poor little Shadow Demon. Jabs was coming out on some kind of mission. Probably hoping for the 25-minute boundary rooms while DJ begins his own TP out. They have enough damage and they got the disable. The Yulcept sends him up. DJ will hit the deck. No buyback for a minute. This is forward, not having to expend any major abilities to get high ground.
And they just have such a huge reach advantage. You're trying to keep your Leshrac safe in the back lines, but it's just not a possibility. Any charge, any jump forward from CCNC, he's going to immediately be taken down as they start to siege the base.
Look at the SB charge. The second they get information on Arbed, they just move forward. You are the only thing that stops them is the fortification. But with Liquid Fire, this tower doesn't even have that much of an influence anymore to try and repel forward. MSS can chip away at this building so easily. And what does Ice want to do? Off stomp a, that doesn't happen. You're not stopping an SB.
It's tier 4, or tier 3 rather. Now to the shrines. They would probably push, but as you can see, the pings from Pi. Yep, there's no need to do anything just yet. Just MSS TP's bounties. Snaking's going to go regen up. Look to charge back forwards once he gets vision. Very clinical, very safe from forward.
Yeah.
They probably don't need to do it this conservatively, but they are playing against Medusa, and they are against elimination at the moment in a must-win tournament.
Yeah, you do not play with this best of one. Like, the best of one lower brackets are already nerve-wracking enough. But at the same time, you don't want to play too defensive. You let him back in, but your kill count's the same as your net worth, which is the same as the amount of minutes in this game. You're feeling pretty good right now. It's 26 across the board. And Yawa's getting close towards the AC.
Yep. They
oh, look, another double damage room for forward.
They could wait for it, but I just don't know if it's necessary. 27,000 gold ahead. It's 26-1, so it's safe to say forward recognize the advantage they have at the moment.
You have a 3-minute Aegis. You have a double damage on Lifestealer. Snaking is going by himself. He doesn't have the rest of his team with him. In fact, he's just walking himself away for a second so they could re-engage. Arbed out in the trees. One hit. Snaking can't even let it off. So they'll move back towards the mid.
DJ's got to make some crazy toss-back plays here.
Yoa's just going for it with the rage up. They're not going for anything there. Just beats into the range rack, into the melee racks.
They got the Stampede used, though.
Oh, nice route. Here comes the charge forward from Snaking. Connecting. Defensive disruption already being used by Jams. Trying to create a couple more MPs, but oh my god, that sleight of fist damage and the spiritual force. Snaking just nether strikes MP down. Buybacks available for the Shrek. If they want to hold their mid-racks, they'll have to use it right now. But the Ice Path, he'll connect on the SD. That was their save. Both heroes have buyback, but both are not committing it. They'll lose their mid lane of racks. But they'll lose a hell of a lot more in just a second. Forward are not going to leave your home.
No,
They're battling into their own tombstone. They're good.
And they have so much poke and sustain thanks to the Pylai die undying, and not to mention that it's just so easy for them to play. How does Fnatic do anything here? They're trying to...
They're gonna try and blink toss back.
Yeah.
But there's no instant control after it.
You've got to pray that the ice stun lands perfectly. But even then, you can maybe kill one hero right now, but he'll immediately buy back.
Who do you get? Like anyone you toss back, you don't have enough damage.
Means the Abed's lost. He needs to buy an item. He recognizes like we're losing Raxes.
Even our observers is like, well, the Rax doesn't matter at all. So we're just gonna watch the fountain. Like this is interesting.
I feel like at this point, you can't GG out. You can't because this is it. This is your tournament. But well, what's Abed's like, well, I need an item. I don't want to buy a Maelstrom. I'll wait for a Scotty, I guess. But then the courier will have to go all the way to the top secret shop. I mean, Forward might just back. They lost Aegis on the Lifestealer, or rather, they're going to momentarily. But, I mean, Arcane Rune on CCNC, you just 2 racks uncontested. They're probably thinking like, all right, there's something fishy here, Maybe there's a Rapier on the way to the Dusa, and they're trying to set up this mega play.
Maybe they're so much more further ahead than we thought they were. We just don't know. It really is not the case. Ford will come in for the last round of racks on the bottom. And Fnatic have to do some level of initiation. They can't just allow these racks to topple. They have to show that if they're in this game for a reason, we need to see that reason.
Well, I'd like to see it soon. There is the Scotty. He walks all the way up to ensure he picks it up. But I'm just not sure it addresses the true issue right now with the Fnatic lineup, which is a lack of damage. Yes.
34k advantage. There goes the Aegis Immortal timing out. So Ford won't have that, but they'll have probably the full Assault Cuirass done on the Lifestealer.
Oh, he's had that for a bit. He's on his way to the next item.
That
2k gold already.
It's going dataless. Snaking's got the package. Yep. Express delivery. No DHL sponsor in this tournament, though. But Fnatic, they're trying to hide as far back as possible. Observers and sentries looking for any kind of extra information, because that's what Forward needs. Forward don't see inside the Fnatic base, but they want a good start. So their first sentry, they'll get rid of the obs if they can get up the hill. Actually just infest popping out, so Yawar can run forward. Put the Solar Crest on him, let him beat it at the tier 3 tower, and force some level of reaction from Fnatic.
It's half health almost, and he's still going to be full HP thanks to the Soul Rip spam from Pylai Dai, who will, I believe, is that Greaves he's completed already? I think that's what's on the courier here. And CCNC has an Ags. Oh my god, they're just too farmed. And they can spam spells with no risk either because of the nature of the lineup. I love Ember Jakiro, always have, so easy to cover.
They just hit jabs in the trees. Yawar protected by Lincoln Sphere. He does not care. Arbeck can't snake him. They can't do anything against him. And ISI's been waiting in these trees for the second coming. They're pinging out. There's like, Isis like, can I go? There's your Hawkstomp. Got him before the Rage can come up. Maybe they got the pop damage. Get the kill. No, you are. He can just Rage. Open wounds, and the Slider Fist from CCNC will do it. This is over. They can buy back everyone they want. And well, Forward, they're stoned for the moment. But like the Eternal Stone statues, they will come back to life and start murdering everybody. Abed wants to try and fight, but CCNC's not done just yet. Another Slider Fist Forward. Another Spirit Committal. This Aghanim Scepter Ember just going to work. Abed is down for the count. No buybacks available. GG is called. 35-1. We may even have 36-1 by the end of this one. We do. 41k advantage. Forward Gaming have not